How big should you 3-bet pre-flop? Before we start talking about that and going into detail about how big I believe you should 3-bet pre-flop in my experience, let's check out this video of a hand I played a little while ago where you can see what happens when you 3-bet too small. Let's check it out. We're playing 2-5 and we look down at pocket 10s under the gun 2. We make it 15, hijack cut off call, and now small blind makes it 40. This 3-bet is pretty small. This looks pretty strong. Seems like he wants to build a pot but not get anybody to fold, giving us a good price. But anyways, for 25 more, we're not going anywhere. So we call, and so do the other two players. So we go 4 ways to a flop. Flop comes deuce 7-9, and we get the good news when we see small blind check. If he bets here big, it would look super strong. Now it's our turn. We're going to go for value, try to get some money out of all the draws. We bet 100 and only the hijack calls. So we go 2 ways to a turn. As you see, his small bet definitely didn't work out for him, and it's because he's way too small. And a big purpose of 3-betting is to get fold equity. And with that size, he literally had 0 fold equity. I'm not folding anything in position due such a price, and nobody after me is either. The moment I call, they're calling as well. So you're basically just making a bigger pot with the same amount of people, and that is definitely not the goal when you 3-bet. One reason is because you will make more money making a bigger pot with fewer people than a smaller pot and go multi-way 3-4 ways. Okay, now that we saw the consequences of 3-betting too small, let's see how big should we 3-bet then? Well, first let's talk about when you're in position. Usually you should make it 3x whatever the raiser made it. So let's talk about 1-3 since I feel that's the most common game people play. If the original raiser made it $12, well, you make it 3x, so $36. Now if there's callers after that, well, you just add it on top of the 3x. So if undergun made it 12 and then low jack and high jack called, well, it's 3x12, that's 36 plus 24, that is $60. Now let's talk about out of position. Well, it's the same exact thing, but instead of 3x, you make it 4x. And if you're wondering why, it's because they're going to be in position against you. So they're going to be more incentivized to call. So to kind of compensate that, you charge them more. So now you know, from my experience, a pretty good size to 3-bet. If you stick to that, it should work out pretty good to you and you won't end up in situations like that video that I shared with you. An exception is if you're in a table that people love to call pre-flop, so maybe you're 3-betting and people just cold calling or the pre-flop raisers are never folding, you just make it a little bigger. So instead of 3x in position, you make it 4x, and out of position, instead of 4, you make it 5, and you add on top the colors. And a super big exception, if the pre-flop raiser is just a super crazy maniac and he folds to no 3-bet, well, just make it as big as you possibly think he will call. You know, if you make it to $12 and you think he's going to call $100, make it $100 because your goal is to play heads up against that player. So if you can make a huge pot just with him, well, that's the goal. At the end of the day, we're trying to make as much money as possible. So that is the sizes I 3-bet with. Experiment with it. Every game, every casino is different. You gotta adapt that to your player pool. So as I said, use this as a reference and adapt it to your game. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Every Sunday we'll have a new video, and leave a comment. You agree, you disagree, what sizes do you 3-bet at your casino or at your home game, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.